Hello everybody and welcome back to Esports Talk. My name is Caleb and we have an update on the situation within Activision Blizzard regarding the striking Q&A workers from Raven Software and beyond, that being that they have officially passed a vote with a supermajority to unionize and have formed the Game Workers Alliance. They are now asking for Activision Blizzard to formally recognize their union, and if they do not, because it's a supermajority, they can send this filet right with the National Labor Board and they'll be recognized one way or another. It is now ball in Activision Blizzard's court to see if they recognize the total of 34 workers that have signed on in an unprecedented move within the games industry. Despite statements made during the process of merging with Microsoft that there was no union in Activision Blizzard, which there technically wasn't at the time, they've known that they might be forming one in the near future. Back on December 10th, just a few days into the work stoppage, Chief Administrative Officer Brian Bulatow tried to convince employees that they could sort out the many issues at the workplace without introducing a union into the mix. It didn't work. While this would be a huge development within the industry, it wouldn't technically be the first North American video games union, just the first out of this company of this size. Vodio Games, an indie dev studio, is technically the first North American video game studio to have a formal union, but there's been nothing in a AAA game company, so this is still a huge step forward. A month ago, the possibility of unionization came at a time where Activision Blizzard was burning a lot of money and goodwill among their customers with all the scandal allegations, which a lot of folks believe would give the striking workers some increased leverage against the company. While it's difficult to predict how the relationship between the QA testers and Activision Blizzard will look moving forward, it's even more difficult to predict how things will look in a little over a year when they're formally acquired by Microsoft. It's worth noting that unionization in this industry is very, very rare. As reported by Bloomberg, when a 38-person group of Microsoft bug testers organized in 2014, the company eventually dismissed them. Of course, we're dealing with Microsoft Gaming specifically, and that means dealing with Phil Spencer, who was asked about this and gave a response delivered via the Washington Post that at the very least doesn't sound inherently hostile. I'm going to be honest, I don't have a lot of personal experience with unions. I've been at Microsoft for 33 years, so I'm not going to try to come across as an expert on this, but I'll say we'll be having conversations about what empowers them to do their best work, which, as you can imagine in a creative industry, is the most important thing for us. With the current state of Warzone and Call of Duty in general, a lot of folks out there understandably think that having this team of experienced, veteran QA testers back on the job could go a long way to improving the state of the game. There's also the hope that it could help push back against all the negative aspects of the work culture within the company we've been hearing about for the past few months. Now all of this has to intersect with Microsoft, who have their own internal dynamics that many were also hoping would alleviate these issues, who also no doubt want the public image of Activision Blizzard to rebound. Now they have some decisions to make to accomplish that goal. We know Bobby Kotick is going to be out eventually, but there's a lot of other potential figures that fingers could be pointed towards within the company that one way or another are going to have to be acknowledged, and of course the dynamics are going to have to be proven to change. It's going to have to be more than just words. The unionization filing goes to the National Labor Relations Board in 5 days, if not recognized by Activision Blizzard. So one way or another, this will be happening long before Microsoft has any direct power. While no doubt Microsoft will be making plans well in advance for how to deal with this, it'll be a while before we find out whether or not they're willing to work with the union or if they're going to try and fight back as they've done in the past. And while we wait to hear back on the legal side of things, we want to hear from you out there. How do you feel about all this? Do you think that the unionization push here, as historic as it is going to succeed? And if so, do you think it's going to have a big impact on their relationship with Microsoft moving forward? Do you think Microsoft is going to accept this gracefully? Do you think Activision Blizzard are going to accept this gracefully? Or do you think that there's going to be some pushback, potentially even some more dismissal, as we have seen beforehand? Do you think that with the name being intentionally left a little bit more open, a little bit more non-specific to Activision Blizzard or even to QA testing, as the hope is that this union could continue to grow and expand to other people within the industry, do you think that this unionization push we're seeing now is going to continue to spread like wildfire? It certainly seems to be picking up a bit of momentum here. One way or another, let us know, and we will be there with even more coverage sometime very, very soon. I'm keeping a close eye on everything, I promise. But until then, thank you for joining once again, and we will talk to you next time.